yeah, so roadie to Queenstown on a Sunday, taking the wee Suzuki Swift for a drive. Thought I'd see how long I can stream for before I lose the connection. Shouldn't be too long. So feel very positive and quite excited, to be honest. I'm a bit nervous I don't have any sound right now. Nice drive down to Queenstown, and when I used to travel and I started up my New Zealand's information network, I had a lot of time on the road where I did most of my thinking, which was actually quite exciting. So no doubt I'll have a few is it epiphanies, or I might come back with a new lease on life. But I'm heading 6 hours 6-hour roadie. I think Queenstown is actually 360 kilometres, but that doesn't make 6 hours, so I don't know. And now I've been told I need to do 30 k's an hour. Yeah, so I've got pretty good coverage. Yeah, so it's quite good. So got myself a can of Red Bull, which is quite good, and also just get through these roadworks here. Also, I like listening to podcasts, so there's a few good books I'll listen to if I get a chance. Yeah, that's good. Thanks, Susie, for that. Alright, so now I know I've got sound, so I'll keep doing this until it crashes. I've also got some notes to get familiar with, and yeah, so if you don't know why I'm going down to Queenstown, there is an individual who wants some content removed from my website, and I've got all the facts. I've got a 87-page affidavit with lots of exhibits, and it's a good test to being a journalist about when I'm doing blogs or reporting on individuals that are running scams, just how much information I need to have before I publish anything. And you know, like, it just amazes me that someone, no snacks, that somebody actually wants to challenge my challenge that I'm not allowed to publish when somebody does wrong, and I have all the receipts. So it's amazing. So it's going to be interesting to see how the system works. So it's a twofold purpose. This, I could have hired a lawyer. Well, I couldn't really, can't afford it. Or I can represent myself for the first time ever. And I remember when I was like doing public speaking, and my very first speech, I spent so long preparing it. In some ways it was my best speech and my worst speech, but I've never regretted the amount of time and energy I put into my first speech. And I think it's very important that if you want to win, or you want to have your best foot forward, you really need to research it. So that's what we've done in this case. So as much as everything I do is about good mindset, being true to yourself, thinking, is it, you know, I was on a phone call with CoffeeZilla once, and he said, you've got to pick your battles. And this particular one is probably one I could have just deleted the blog and been done with it, but that didn't sit right with me, because I knew what this person had done, and I've got the receipts to prove it. So ethically speaking, I feel I have a sense of responsibility to the public, because this individual was trying to deceive companies in New Zealand to spend money that theoretically could hurt the company if they didn't deliver on their claims, and they certainly can't deliver on their claims. They have no proof of anything they say, which is kind of like, oh really? But it's true. So it's good. But anyway, my Avengers, my team of people. I woke up this morning, 6 o'clock. I'm waking up at the moment because I've got so much on my mind. And got ready. Spent about half an hour packing some clothes. Did some video snapshots so I can create a wee video of the roadie. And then spent about another half hour looking for a black belt, which I think I've got around my waist. So yeah, found the black belt, which is quite cool. Yeah, so that's quite cool. Anyway, I don't really know what to say really, but I know every time I do a live in the car, sometimes the sound doesn't work, so stopping and starting these lives doesn't really work. But I'm all dressed up, got my no scam t-shirt on. Woo! And creating the thumbnail yesterday. I was trying to create some thumbnails for the so where's a car that has to go fast, mate. And I asked it to create a gabble. So if you look at the thumbnail of this video, you'll see that I've got no hands on the steering wheel, and I'm holding either a gabble or a can of Red Bull, which is a bit ridiculous really. So it is just weird. So it's 9:29. ETA is probably going to be about 3:30. I'm staying in one of the flashiest places in Queenstown, which is really nice. Yeah, so and it's right in the centre of Queenstown, which is going to be great. I think it's about 4 stories high, so I should have a good look at the Remarkables, just in case you're trying to find where I'm staying. Yeah, that's cool. I always travel first class. This is my, what I should have done was flown down to Queenstown and then hired a car and racked up as much money as I could in expenses. But no. We washed the old Suzuki Swift down, haven't washed it for about 6 months, and then jumped in the car, and here we are. That's really cool. Anyway, it's one of the most beautiful drives you can actually do. The car was going to pull out, it changed its mind, thank goodness for that. Goodness me, some people go have my wits about me. I like to think I'm a defensive driver. I always think of the what did Red Bull? Always think of that breakfast of what could happen. We get a lot of milk trucks. They're always on the road. There was a car just coming towards me before, and the underneath tray underneath their car is flapping up and down. I don't know how they don't know that's happening. Yesterday I jumped under my car to check for any AirTags and used a device to see whether anyone's tracking my car. That's the day in the life of being a crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger, I tell you. I must complain to Red Bull. They now put my favourite Red Bull only in the big tins. Bloody stupid, I tell you. Woo! Oh, that's good. Oh, that's bad. Oh, it always feels like you're drinking like... When I was a painter and a decorator, I worked with an alcoholic guy, and he used to be a binge drinker. And he was meant to be clean. He finished up dying by suicide as he drank himself to death, literally in a binge. Quite a sad story. But anyway, because he was an alcoholic, as you do when you're only 20 something, I asked him, had he ever drunk methylated spirits? Nice bike, KTM. And he said yes. And they actually soak, I think they soak methylated spirits in bread, because I think it absorbs the colour that they put in methylated spirits to make you throw up when you drink it. And then he said you could you'd drink it through a cloth, and I'm going, not that I want to start drinking methylated spirits, but anyway, he said when he drank it, he could feel it going through his veins. And I always remembered that when I had my burst appendix and I got ill infected, special name for that, I had 10 litres of antibiotics go through my body, and they'd come and hook up a new bag, and it would be a 500ml bag of what I call disinfectant. It always reminds me of Donald Trump's suggestion when they were doing COVID, and he suggested that maybe they could rinse people's bodies out with Genola. But anyway, let's not go there. But anyway, when they plugged me in to these 500ml bags that I had, I think I had 20 of them, I could feel it going through my veins. And I always remember that, thinking, oh, it's like drinking methylated spirits. But when I drink Red Bull, I think it's pretty much the same, to be honest. Alright, we're coming through Leaston. A lot of people know me for my watch, which I've got. Beautiful watch. And Steve from my mate who owns the sporting shop, he used to live in Leaston and come into work each day. He was a hard case guy because that's quite a hike, so it's a good 20 minutes out of Christchurch. Anyway, now we're going back on the open road. More Red Bull. Have a nice day. That's a lovely comment, isn't it? It is a nice day. It's currently 16 degrees. Lots of camper vans on the road. I don't think I can. Oh, I can turn the camera around. I know that's a good idea, but I won't turn the camera around now because it would be a bit distracting. I'm doing about 90 k's. For the first time ever, I've got on a motorway and they've put the speed limit up to 110 kilometres, which 60 miles an hour is 100, so it's probably 65 miles an hour, which is unusual for our roads. But they had a campaign here when we had, I don't know if you guys ever had it, but there was a real low on petroleum at one point when I was younger. They had what they call carless days. Actually, carless days, I never really thought about it, carless days. And you had to carpool, and it would alternate Tuesday, Thursday, and whatever day, Saturday, and then you'd be able to take your car out, but you weren't allowed to take it out every day. Anyway, at that time they lowered the speed limit to all the roads around New Zealand to 80 kilometres an hour, and then they put it back up to 100 a few years later, but the government's decided that we would make the roads 110 kilometres. But normally you can drive at 109 kilometres and no one really cares. But I don't think you'd be able to now drive at 115 kilometres and no one really cares. I think that'd be pretty. But not all the roads are 110, but a lot of our motorways are now, especially in Auckland, but not much down on the South Island. Anyway, this morning I got to drive at 110 k's on the road. It was fantastic, it was. But it's quite funny because, you know, like the cars are a lot more better than they were when I was a kid. You know, when I was a young fella, I had an Austin 1100 or a Morris Minor. I suppose it wasn't really a Morris Minor, it was a, but anyway, it was a land crab they used to call it, and it had 1100cc engine in it, and the engine was in the car sideways, and it had hydroelastic suspension, so it was really, really smooth, really smooth on the road. Anyway, great wee car. You could put a dozen beers under every seat in the car, which a lot of cars you can't now, which is quite good. Don't know if that's a good thing to say, but when I was younger that was actually quite a great thing. But anyway, if I got on a nice downhill bit and I floored it and went like a cat, you know, a fast, that lady there who's just overtaken me was the same lady that I thought was going to pull out in front of me going onto the main road. How about that? Anyway, Yeah, 135 was as fast as that car could ever go. Now I'm in a wee car here, and I've been told that these cars are good for 210 kilometres an hour. It's a wee Suzuki Swift. I think it's 210 or 19. I think it's 210 is its top speed. Not that I want to do that, but my Holden its top speed was something ridiculous, like 250 kilometres an hour. But recently, after COVID, for some reason, they put all the speed limits back down to 80 k's. So you've got all these cars that are far better than any car I grew up with, and now they limit the speed limit. So, I don't know. But yeah, so it'd be quite interesting. Anyway, that's a bit about that. Bitrick Link Canal. Don't know what that means. What's that? Yeah, if you've got any first things, if you want to support me, what I'm doing, you can actually go to deheck.com and buy us a cup of coffee. Right now I have had some donations, which I am very grateful for, but I can always do a few more. I don't make money from doing what I'm doing, but if you want to support what I do, you can either join the YouTube channel or go to my website, buy me a cup of coffee, or look at one of the monthly plans I have either on my YouTube channel. YouTube would be better, or on Buy Me a Cup of Coffee. I really much appreciate the support I get from and I hate asking for money, but it does keep me in Red Bull, and also keeps the fight. So how is my scam fighting going? Well, Goliath Ventures Inc. is the one that I'm spending the majority of my time on at the moment, and this is the first time I've actually taken on a large company that's, allegedly we think they're taking $500 million from mum and dad investors, and it's not always been mum and dad investors. We have a couple of people that are inside the company promoting it, and both of these are brothers, and they've both invested $100,000, and they've actually managed to get somebody who is the age of 70 to put everything they have into the company, and now all the money is frozen, and we believe the scam is up, but the company's still holding $1 million dinner on the 12th of December, and it's some sort of like mystery James Bond style, probably escape room dinner, I'm assuming. However, it's disgusting because investors can't get their dividends, the money's meant to be all secured, and they're making claims that because they're doing an audit, that the auditor has no authority to do this, but the auditor has frozen the assets in the company, and that's their excuse because the company is washed up. So yeah, so Susie's just put the name of the event. It's a casino Vale. So we're looking for people who have got an invitation, because there's a QR code on one of the boxes, and when you scan that, you are meant to get given some information about what's happening, and we haven't got that information as of yet, and we will get it. But if you are somebody who is invested, and if you are somebody who is getting invited to their dinner where they're blowing $1 million of investors' money on trying to keep their image up, please do let us know. It would be really of quite, curiosity. Curiosity is what it's really all about. We want to know what it says, and we know everything else, so why shouldn't we know that? We've also got some intel for Christopher Delgado. Did I start right that time, Suze? That we are willing to share with you, which may be of great importance to you. Now, I've messaged Tay, whatever her name is, his girlfriend, and they want to know what the information is, but I want Christopher to reach out to me, and we'll share that intel with you, which is quite unusual, but I'm sure that Christopher will want to know what that intel is, and we're actually willing to share something, because we've got a few other things going down, which even though we want to take down Christopher, no offence Christopher, we also want to take down a couple of other things, but we've got some intel that might be mutually beneficial. In some ways it might help Christopher. So what's happened with that case? Well, as you know, I'm a New Zealander, last time I looked, and what they've done is they've decided to offer me $150,000 to shut up, and which is quite staggering really. So we've made that public in the blogs that we've done. So if you are onto heat.com and you click out Goliath Ventures link in the navigation bar, we've even set up a whole new series. We've actually done 20 blogs at the moment, and in there you will find everything I'm talking about. However, what are we doing there, Dan? We want to we obviously want to shut this company down as soon as possible. So we've got 6 different government agencies who we know are investigating it, and we are providing information to you know, every time we get it, and it's quite exciting how far we've come. So the real good thing, if you don't know anything about government investigations, they don't normally talk to you, but we are getting a few niggles back and forth, which is great. But the most exciting thing about it was they were already investigating this scam before I publicised it, which means that it's now been fast-tracked and things are really moving along quite quick. So the reason I'm saying that is because it means arrests will happen sooner, and now it's a race to the finish line, because these guys are trying to shut me up by filing a lawsuit in Florida, and they're out of jurisdiction. So we've actually humoured what they've tried to do by filing a motion to dismiss, which still hasn't been looked at by, car crash, where did you crash, how did you crash? Don't crash looking at the car crash, it's always a good thing. Oh, even a wheel's come off, that's pretty good. Maybe the wheel come off and that caused the crash, who knows. Anyway, that means we've gone less than 40. I've got follow the leader cruise control in this car. For a small car, it's got lots of smart little wee things. I'm just going to see if I can, if it tells me to turn off. Confirm. Just checking the eye, keeping an eye on. Yeah, so anyway, so they filed a lawsuit against us. They've got no jurisdiction, so we filed a 22-page motion to dismiss. They've now countered with another stupid thing that we've ignored. But long story short, it's really interesting the lengths that these companies will go against. So now the judge has come back and, the courts have come back and given us a date way in the future. I'm just checking the navigation. I thought I would have turned off there. We'll go the long way. And so in the meantime, their lawyers are trying everything they can to, I don't know, muddy the courts, throwing stupid letters. Like, for example, they put a request in to do discovery on my ChatGPT data and Grok data. So you can imagine that. So imagine if you're using ChatGPT and then you get accused of something that no one's got proof of, and you can go along to OpenAI and tell the courts that you want to know what I'm searching for. I mean, if AI handed over that, imagine it would just be absolutely ridiculous. But what? So you got to think, why would they do that? Why would they request that the courts give access to my ChatGPT search data? I mean, it's not rocket science, is it? I mean, so wish the phone would stay still. So why do they do it? Well, in there they listed all the people that they believe is talking to me, and they want to intimidate people who are providing this information. I mean, really? I mean, these guys are clutching at straws, trying to get intel on who they believe is feeding me information. They even believe that I'm getting funding, or somebody is the money mule who's funding me. And if anybody knows me and what I'm all about, you'll know that I don't have any money. No one's bankrolling me to go after this thing. So the pig-headedness of these guys, in my opinion, is that they don't really understand why people do good things for other people. And they probably think that everything's driven by money. Well, not everything is driven by money. Money is a necessary evil, unfortunately. But the fact that they think that somebody is bankrolling me into going after this scam. Imagine this, all right? A company goes, really did fall off that time. A company that theoretically has brought in $500 million. Somebody comes along to me and goes, there's a company in Florida who's been very naughty, and we want you to bring them down, Danny. And I go, okay. Now we're going to pay you $200 to do a review. You know, it's just stupid, you know. So that's what they think. They think somebody's bankrolling me into taking this company down. But all it took was one stupid contract that somebody signed, and I got a copy of it, and I had a look at it. And Christopher, if you want to know who gave us that original contract, you would not believe it. And we're willing to share the name of the person who gave us the original contract that got the ball rolling. Because some other correspondents, well, I can't fully tell you about, their main thing they want to do, because they're trying to buy me, right, is they want to know who's funding me. So we're willing to hand up who that is free of charge. Not funding me, but where and why I'm doing this. So then you can get your friggin' monkeys off my back, and we'll just tell you who got us involved in it at the start. But reach out to me, Chris. Happy to tell you that. It'd be quite nice. So the other day I wanted to do a blog, and I wanted to do a blog top 50 points about Goliath, because a lot of people tell me that my long form content is long form. And so I wrote out top 50 what we know about Goliath Ventures. And we know that they, 5 months ago, I think it's the 13th of May, they claimed that their bank is it the Merrill Bank of America, which is the second largest bank in America. So we've approached everyone that we thought could be providing banking services to Goliath Ventures, and we believe that we've literally had them shut down, which is fantastic. But now they claim that they have a new banking partner, and everything's on hold, everything's on frozen because of an auditor. But don't worry, don't calm the farm. They're working with the auditor as fast as they can. However, Chris has gone away to Dubai just for 5 days, but it's well over 5 days and he hasn't returned yet. Wonder why. But theoretically, he's going to come back for this dinner, which we don't believe he will unless he's stupid. Merrill Lynch Bank of America. Thank you, Susie. So we have shut down their banking, and I say we broadly. We also have data of other bank connections, and we are also in correspondence with other banks. So this is why their company has frozen, because they don't. Now, Christopher claims that they are a crypto company. They liquidity pools, they do blockchain technologies, whatever that means, and they do Bitcoin mining. Now, when people want to put their fiat currency into Goliath for their $100,000 minimum investment that's going to give them 3% return, they need to transfer that money into a bank account. But I don't know how they handle the AMA laws, because in my opinion that money could be money laundering. So how do they